Marco Rubio was interviewed, and if you pay attention to what he's saying, he's basically saying that we need to worry about countries going outside the dollar because then we can't, if it loses weight, we can't crush other countries. Like, it really is. These people are so, I mean, when you're a true sociopath, you don't kind of even understand what your words mean to average people. So let's see this.
Today, Brazil, in our hemisphere, largest country in the Western Hemisphere south of us, cut a trade deal with China. They're going to, from now on, do trade in their own currencies, get right around the dollar. They're creating a secondary economy in the world, totally independent of the United States. We won't have to talk about sanctions in 5 years because there'll be so many countries transacting in currencies other than the dollar that we won't have the ability to sanction them. Today, Brazil, in our hemisphere, largest country in the Western Hemisphere.
All right, so there's Marco Rubio. He is saying it like, oh my God, what is wrong with these countries? Why would they do such a thing? He doesn't even notice that it's like tyrannical to be like, these other countries, they made an agreement, China and Brazil made an agreement to interact in their own currency. What? I mean, that's thinking you own the world is what that is, which he probably does think the U.S. owns the world. But, and he points out one of the biggest positives of this happening, of countries standing up and going outside the petrodollar, is that in various ways, they can't be sanctioned as easily. And the U.S. has sanctions on dozens of countries around this globe. And what do sanctions do? They harm the poor, the weak, the children, the elderly. That's who sanctions hurt the most and the quickest. The others, the rich, the oligarchy in whatever country, are generally not that harmed, almost ever. So it is deciding that it's okay. I mean, Madeleine Albright said it was acceptable that 500,000 children had died in Iraq by our sanctions. She said it was worth it. And that's what these fucking sociopaths think. They think it's worth it to kill children, to kill the elderly, so that we can try and bend a country to our will. And he here in this video is fretting that the U.S., that China and Brazil and other countries could dare go outside of the petrodollar because then we won't be able to sanction them. He's upset that we're not going to be able to kill children and elderly and poor. Very, very upsetting. Very upsetting. And, you know, again, this is him speaking on Fox News, and most of the people watching this are so propagandized that they believe this. He's right. This is wrong. China and Brazil shouldn't have done that. That was mean of them, and they're not listening to us. Why should we own the world? Why? Like, have we proven to be good stewards of the world? Has U.S. hegemony been good for the world as we see it collapse under the weight of climate crisis, as we see it collapse even outside of just climate crisis? Even if you are a sad, pathetic, ignorant soul who thinks the climate crisis is not real, the environment is collapsing in other ways as well. It's collapsing in the amount of plastics. We all have microplastics in our system right now. A million bottles of water are used around the globe per minute. I talk about that on the latest episode of Most Censored News. It's just unbelievable the way we're killing the planet. And that's not even talking about the war. That's not even talking about the sanctions, killing the poor. Like, that is what we are causing. And we deserve to have hegemony. We deserve to control. He said the word secondary economy. He said they're basically involved in a secondary economy. Well, what does that mean? The primary economy is fucking ours, the petrodollar. He's saying there should only be one economy in the world, our dollar. And that is it. But, you know, he's one of the sociopaths. He's one of them.